Alright guys, quick video of my local's first place Sword Soul deck. Sword Soul-Tenyi, and we'll get to it. Basic, triple Moye, triple Longyong, double Tai. Now for the Tenyi package, it's triple Vishuddhas, triple Ashunas, triple Adhara, one Shitana. And instead of 3, we run 2 Ecclesia, Incredible Ecclesias. I feel like this is the perfect amount of Tenyi Sword Soul cards you need. With any of the Tenyis, you can link off, use to reveal with Moye, discard with Longyong, or just, like I said, link into a Monk. Taye is at 2, it's an additional normal, or it's an additional special if you hit it with Baxia in the grave and then banish, and then you have a level 8 on field. Or if you just need that token, or if you just need a dump of Sword Soul or Worm to Grave. If you sync with it. And 2 Ecclesias, if you go first and you see 2 in hand, it's pretty much a brick because you can't do much. You can normal her. You waste a normal summon to get out a Sword Soul if you don't already have one. 2 is good if you go second. Again, if you see 2, that's fine, but with 3, there's more chances of you seeing multiples of her, which really only 1 is necessary to have in hand, going first or second. Spells, triple Emergence, triple Dragon Circle, really good at dodging imperms, or just getting a search off, even if you're a normal summon or Moye, any what have you, any of your worms get negated on field. It's an easy chain to tribute, add a worm, and you can continue playing, or you have follow-up for the next turn. We did run triple Evenlies, but I switched them back to triple Dark Ruler No Mores. I feel like Dark Ruler No More did more. With Sword Soul, if you combo off, you can break a board very easily. And evenly match, it can be negated by monster effects. With Dark Ruler No More, you either make your opponent use their spell a trap negate on the field, or you just get rid, like I said, of their entire board if it's full of monsters and they're face down, say a bluff, or they have nothing in hand to counteract that and stop you from comboing off. So I like Dark Ruler No More. I switched it, like I said, from evenly. I feel like Dark Ruler's better, even though you can't do damage, but if you're playing evenly match, you're not going to do damage in the battle phase anyway. So and for more spells, double desires, obviously. Draw power. You run 3 ofs and mostly everything in this deck, so you shouldn't be afraid of vanishing. And then for the more monsters, the hand traps, I forgot, we do run 3 Ash and 3 DD Crow. Ash for any rogue or just the Havness. And DD Crows, again, Ishizu Tears running rampant. You got Sprite Elves targeting cards in grave. Anything that needs stuff in grave, you could force them to activate something when they don't want to, or you could get rid of a combo piece or any valuable card that keeps them playing. But again, it's just main deck for Ash, anything, DD Crow, it's a double hand trap. Again, mainly for the tier Ishizu play. But again, DD Crow is very strong, no matter what deck it's going against. Now traps, 1 blackout, another hand trap, triple imperm, can't be negated by monster effects that negate monsters, and dodge is called by the graves. And if you're going second and you open 2, like I said, either Crow, Ash, Imperm, or 2 of each, then you're pretty much usually solid for that turn if you know what your opponent's playing and you hit them at the right moment. And triple rivalry. If we go first and we see it, cool. Easy win. But again, it also depends if it doesn't get destroyed, removed from the board on activation. But usually when it stays, and that's usually the game. All right, now for the extra deck, we got the tokens. For the links, obviously, triple monks. And we also run the Shaman of the Tenyi. Synchros, we have a Yazi. Level 8s, Adamantipator, Dragite. We do play Dragite. The negate is very strong for the Sword Souls. 2 Shishaos, 1 Sheishin Longyong, and 1 Supreme Sovereign Changying. Other monsters we run in the extra deck. The rest of the worms, Double Boxia, and a Chaofeng. And then the level 10s, Rudy Rose, the Banish the Grave, and a Baron de Fleur, because we can go into it. And for the side deck. Side deck we run mainly going second cards, because our opponent's not going to let us go first. Especially if they know we main deck the Rivalry. Gadarla, and double nibs. Double nibs for, again, any deck that combos off. If you see it in your hand. If you don't, that's fine. I did run 3 nibs, but Flunder is a thing, so I traded out the 3rd nib for Gadarla. It gets rid of any monster on the field that you don't like or that you don't want. And that's my whole reasoning of playing it. So those, we don't like back row, triple cosmic. We don't like Ishizu tier, and we could somewhat play under shifter, triple shifter. Yeah, it conflicts with your graveyard effects, the banish, because you can't banish anything if there's nothing in your grave. But if that's the case, you can, like I said, the Tenyi monsters can banish from hand if you control a non-effect monster. So take it as you want. Shifter is a strong option, especially in this format. You've got people needing the grave. I know Sprite can main deck it as well, but you can somewhat play under it. But Ishizu tier, either they just have to pass or they just play under shifter. And that's, again, for them, that's the main meta deck. And for them, that's a difficult decision. More than likely, they'll just pass turn. Again, for the Ishizu tier, triple Shadow Imprisoning Mirrors. Stops all darks on the field and graveyard. Negates all field and graveyard dark effects. Perfect against tier. And finally, triple Imperm. Like I said, mostly everything in here. We have 1, 2, 3, 6, 9 going first cards, not including the Rivalry and the other hand traps. Well, and then including the Imperms in our deck. But we also have going second cards, like the Shifters, the Gadarla, and double nibs. Because again, just in case you need to break a board, you don't want to waste your resources. You draw into the nib, you draw into the Gadarla. Hey, I could get rid of a monster I don't like. Or if they have no negates on board and they summon more than 5 times, if you happen to open a nib, boom, nib. If they end their turn, they end their turn, and you can just combo off. Well, yeah, that was pretty much it. My locals, my matchups. Game 1 was against, I played Sharks. And Sharks went into game 3 in that one. It was very difficult because they just kept comboing off each turn. I was only able to win due to Long Young in time going to game 3, going first. Game 2, I played against a ABC Tirishizu. They just could not get a summon off. I opened DD Crows. I also opened my Imperms, and they just had a pass and end turn. Game 2, I also had went second, but I had a Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. I sided in, and I flipped that during their draw phase. They couldn't do anything. They passed, and they just scooped it up. Oh, and I also banished their ABCs from the field and, well, from the grave and field and grave with the Changying, and also the DD Crows to banish A, B, and or C, just so they couldn't get into that fusion. Game 3, I played against the Exo Sisters. Game 1, I got shifted and I couldn't do anything because I had a handful of monsters that needed to be in the graveyard to activate. And I just couldn't combo off with all my cards getting banished. I had no recursion. Game 2, I got it. I went into a Chao Fang with the Boxia, and then game 3, I went into Chao Fang again with the Boxia. I cleared their board. Dark Ruler, bounced their back row. They had the 2 Exorcist Exceeds on field. They had no cards in hand. I went to the Boxia to bounce their monsters, and then I had a Monk on field. I banished my Ashuna, special Diadhada, synced into Chao Fang. They couldn't activate any of their Exo monsters, and they just scooped it up because they're all lights. If you didn't know. And then game 4, I played Tirishizu. I opened with my DD Crows, and I was able to just go off and interrupt their plays. They also, game 1, they didn't mill so hot. Game 2, I just opened the nuts, DD Crows, and the Ash. They saved the Havness for my turn, and if you're playing Ash, always against Tyr, always save your Ash during your turn. When they Havness, Ash it during your turn. That's the smartest thing to do. So we did that, and final was against Sprites, and I lost against Sprites. Well, semifinals, I lost the Sprite. That was my first loss of the day. Then I played Flunderies. And against Flunderies, I went second, but I saw my Dark Ruler no more. And that pretty much sealed game 1. Game 2, they went first. They normal Rabina. I Ash. They went Magnificent Map. I'm like, cool. They added map, activated map, normal summon the Eaglin. I impermed the Eaglin. They had nothing else. They had a pass, and that was it. That was the game pretty much. And the final, I was playing against the Sprite guy again at my locals for the finals, and we just rolled it out. It was getting late. We got hungry, and I won the roll. So technically, I got first place. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Soul-Tenyi isn't dead. It's a very good, fun deck, especially if you know how to pilot it. I enjoy it a lot. It could do some damage against Tyr, especially if you have Chen Ying or the Shexing Longyong. It does damage, 100%. Thank you guys for watching, though. Do what you want, comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.